Alright, let's, So, I've brought it before with Ed, Edd and Eddy, is that on that show, you have the main cast of kids who live in, like, a suburb-type situation, and it feels like it's its own little universe. Now, people have tried, like, comparing this to being, like, they're in purgatory and shit like that. I don't fucking care. My whole thing with the main thing that comes off with shows like that, where it's, oh, how much fucking baggage does this lady have? Baggage is fine, but she's got only 1 vault and 7 cobwebs. Okay. Is that the idea of like, isolation in a populated world. So almost like living like the world is a stage, where you don't see where the laughter or the commentary or tracks or anything like that is, but it's there to give the illusion of people around you. Ed, Edd and Eddy did it, of course, and Psychonauts does it, of course, because of production budget, and it's an artistic choice, and it's gorgeous in that way, and it gives world building, and also it's a stylistic choice. And I've always been so fucking, just, I can relate so much to that type of storytelling and style, specifically because, and I've, kind of got a reminder of how bad my goddamn, schizophrenia is when I went on my, little, when I had to go through withdrawals, couple of, like, 2 months ago? It's probably 3 months ago at this point, and I still haven't been able to discuss it on a, stream yet, because it's just been so fucking ungodly hot. But for me, with my, schizophrenia, I don't see, visual hallucinations. My psychosis is 100% auditory hallucinations. And normally, when I get into a mania episode, or say, like, the meds aren't cutting it to control the entire, like, chemical off balance, like, it's just, I'm gonna go through an episode no matter what, is that I do still hear voices, but they're always in my, like, voice. I can tell it's me. It's my inner demons, trying to undermine self-doubt, everything great about, you know, mental disorders that it loves to do. It's not even about depression, it's not about anything like that, it is just full-blown psychosis. However, after I went through my fucking, medical withdrawals because my stupid-ass pharmacy just was like, LOL, we'll get your meds sometime, ha ha ha, for like 2 goddamn weeks, I was very under-medicated, and all of a sudden I was hearing voices that were not mine. And they are incredibly realistic. I completely forgot, because it's been so long since I've heard those before. Because I've been on my medication since I was 22, so I've been on it for almost 10 full years at this point. And I have not gone through withdrawals for that specific medication for a long time. So at my worst, which is in my natural state, unmedicated, the auditory hallucinations are very vivid, very real, and very close to what it would be like if someone was right by you. Like, I'm talking about straight up, like, Son of Sam fucking bullshit. Like, the postman was listening to the dog and thought he was hearing, you know, Satan say, oh, you should really go kill those people. It's like, oh, well, shit. So anyways, with me, because this kind of ties in with the whole LOL, Bob's a blind old man kind of theme, is that if I ever go blind in my life, and I somehow don't have any way to treat my actual, very urgent medical needs, because for whatever reason, I'm going to be blind, and I'm not going to be able to determine what auditory things are actually real and aren't real in my surroundings. And that's gonna be a wild fucking ride, let me tell you. So if I ever just go blind and don't have medication, shit's gonna get spicy, let me tell you. It's fucking crazy. But yeah, so I don't... The only times I have, like, the slightest, inclination of, like, visual... I wouldn't even call them visual hallucinations, is, like, you know when you think you see something out of the corner of your eye? That type of shit, like whether or not something moves too fast. So it's not a hallucination, it's just that, how light, focuses in your, is perceived within, it's how light gets communicated to your brain along the way of seeing it. Because sometimes, every now and then, my eyesight will just completely black out for, like, a fraction of a second. And so, when that happens, it's like, oh, did the sun turn off? Did all the lights go off? It's just like, every now and then, like a sporadic power outage that is just a blip, but, big enough to notice. And it's like, I did not blink right there. It's just like, the light just stopped deciding to work. And so, but I don't get, like, hallucinations. I've never had, visual hallucinations naturally, I'll say that. So, but it's the auditory, and I think that's why, like, I just have no fear when it comes to performing, or whether or not, like, other people's opinions or shit like that about me has ever really, well, it definitely over the years, it's gone. If there was any semblance of that inherent, like, human natural fear, it's gone from me at this point. It's been purged because I have enough experience of dealing with self-doubt from my own voice, let alone from others, and then now that I've gotten used to realizing that any type of self-doubt I hear from others is also a hallucination, it's just like, I don't fucking care, because I can tell the difference of what is real and isn't real, and that's what matters to me, because, I guess, so what I'm trying to say is that if I'm my own worst enemy, no one else has something who can do worse to me than myself, you know? So it's definitely a strength and a weakness unto itself, like any kind of balancing patch. So I have no like, natural fear of looking like a jackass or anything like that, shame or peer desire to be approved by my peers at this point. I just don't fucking care. I literally have no fucks to give. So, I mean, take it for what that is. But with shows like Ed, Edd n Eddy or like how this because this level has stayed with me for ever since I've played it, is that it feels like I'm not the only one who's had those types of feelings of, like, being alone amongst crowds and yet feeling like you're overwhelmed by yourself, if that's a good way of putting it. Because the voices are more overwhelming to me than actual human beings. And I think a lot of people go through that. And for those of you who have gone through the same situation, you're not alone. It's nothing to be ashamed of or anything like that. There's no reason to feel like you don't belong somewhere. Because that's another thing that I always get, is, like, specifically from women, is I don't give a shit about going anywhere with anybody at any given time. If I want to go somewhere, I'm fucking going somewhere, and I'm going to enjoy myself. If people want to, tag along, do it, so be it. But I'm not waiting for anybody, you know? So it's like, I go to movies by myself, I go out exploring by myself, I go eating by myself, I go to bars by myself, I just go for the adventure. And I remember so vividly when in college, so many of the people I had met were like, oh, you're so brave to go out to see a movie? It's like, what the fuck did you just say to me? Because you take it as a bit of, like, an insult right off the bat, being like, what the fuck are you trying to say about me? But then you realize this is a self-inflection of, it's such a foreign idea to them to actually go out and break away from this social construct that they need to be seen in person with other groups of people in order to be accepted. And it's like, no. If you like something, don't let anyone fucking stop you. And I feel like a lot of people do need that instinctive, like, kind of pack animal mentality of I feel like I can be hidden like a tree amongst the woods with my fellow peers. And it's like, no, there's nothing wrong with, because trust me, I blend in wherever the fuck I go and I stick out where I want to. And I'm still able to enjoy things by myself. But a lot of women just, they find it so foreign that they actually have the freedom to go out and just do what they want to make them happy. I feel fucking horrible for the type of environment they came from, because they were all like suburban New Jerseyans, Sparky. That damn state has hurt too many people. And so, like, it's like, I don't know, I guess people really did fall for sitcom, you know, everything is perfect kind of lying bullshit that TV fed to them. But for those of you who are watching my content or need just that little voice of encouragement, you absolutely can go out and do things and be fine. You don't have to be afraid of the world around you, because a lot of it is inside your head. Now, there is always the you use common sense mentality of like where you're going and what you're doing and all that kind of stuff. But then you also have outside factors to include of like randomness, you know, RNG of the universe, and it's just like, well, you know, you gotta take life as what it is. So I'm not encouraging people to go out and like do self-harm or anything. Like, I hate the fact that I have to fucking say that every time I talk about life. Is like, oh, well, disclosure, don't do anything dangerous because I know you can't think for yourself. And that, like, goes against everything I just fucking stated. Is like, trust your gut feelings and just go out and enjoy things. But, side note, legally my lawyers have to tell me, you still have to live within a society. It's like, fucking Christ. But too long didn't read. If you enjoy things, go out and do them. There's nothing wrong with enjoying shit. And you are not alone if you feel overwhelmed by the world. This, you know, existence is you know, a pretty massive burden to have when you're, you know, self-aware, fully conscious, extremely intelligent being, as in an actual human, and not like a fucking amoeba. So, yeah. I think that's why I also love, like, entertaining and just being a storyteller and everything like that. I was always drawn to be towards the arts. Haha, see what I did there? Like, art just runs through my blood. I can't escape the bear of the curse. And so, when it just is so self-reassuring. Sometimes, like, regardless of how confident you are in yourself, it's nice to get an outside, an outside viewpoint to confirm the fact that, oh yeah, I'm doing okay. I'm doing fine. You know? And that's why I want to tell you guys. You're doing okay. You're doing fine. I'm the Joker, baby. So yeah, so this level and like Ed, Edd and Eddy and stuff like that really resonated with me as a kid and when I was growing up and as a teenager, because again, I didn't get diagnosed or treated for my bipolar schizophrenia until I was 22. And it just, I've had enough time to like self-reflect and realize why I was so drawn towards these types of concepts, conceptualizations of how people see the world. And it just made me appreciate the fact that I had creative places that I could still go to and enjoy that was closer to what I experienced compared to the fucking canned laughter sitcom on, like, fucking Full House or some bullshit, you know? It's nice knowing that there's creative weirdos out there, because I'm definitely one of them. So that was my little spiel on Psychonauts for this level. Let me read chat real quick, and then we'll actually play the game. I'll probably actually cut that part of the video and publish it to YouTube, because I think I've been wanting to make that point for quite some time. I've made it several times, but this is the first time I've had that revelation after going through withdrawals and going back to pure feral schizophrenic nonsense bullshit. And it really opens up your eye to perspectives of what could have been if you didn't have that kind of medical intervention. Alright, let me save. And then I'll read chat. So future me, when you're editing this is where you cut it off for YouTube, okay? This is the YouTube doesn't get any more than this, okay? All right, bye. See you. Cool.